What is up, guys? It's the PlayStation Peachy bringing you episode 13 of Let's Play Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel. Crash Nitro. You know what I mean. In the last episode, we hooked up with Ellen instead of the commentator that was with me for the first two Relic races. Well, videos I did. And now, he's back with us once again for the Citadel City Relic races. That's your cue.
Sorry for iPad is like it's extremely choppy.
It's old. So, oh crap! Don't tell me. Yeah, you see, whenever I try to video chat with someone on my iPad when I'm doing this, it crashes out of the app. So, basically, if I'm going to do this with him, I'm really going to need to, well, not video chat and just do normal voice chat. Still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. That was weird.
Yeah, remember what I said about my iPad crashing if too much was going on in Discord?
Yeah, I can see it right there. Sorry.
So I won't be able to show you the gameplay. But I will say that, remember what I said about me getting appreciation for Ultra Sacred Fire on a track in Citadel City? Remember that? Well, Engine Labs was that track. Because even in the original game, the platinum time for this track was so strict. One of the strictest platinum times in the entire game. So strict that you basically have to have your Sacred Fire throughout almost the entire race. And I failed to maintain it, although that was mostly in view of the fact that there were two crates that I had to get that would kind of break the fire anyway. And not just that, but there was one crate towards the beginning that is extremely hard to reach. If I didn't restart the stage due to running out of time, then it was because I missed that crate. And I spent, when I was recording gameplay, I spent almost an hour alone on that track. Maybe even 2 or 3. Yeah, it was that bad. Now in general, I love the track design of Engine Labs in general, but jeez! Even in the original game, the platinum time is way too strict. I'm sure it's not as strict if I was playing on easy or normal mode, but I doubt it would have changed the fact that Engine Labs' Relic race it's just unbelievable. Well, I guess I could have also said unfathomable, but you know what I mean. But we passed that and are now in Cortex Castle, which is another place where you can have Ultra Sacred Fire throughout the race. But it's preferable to be very careful with it, or at least have it through the starting block and start on the next lap because of how the crates it's towards the beginning are placed. But much similarly to Engine Labs, there are a ton of time crates towards the last turn, except they're much more spread out this time. And Cortex Castle itself is, well, if you played the first Crash game, you'll know what I mean. Speaking of which, have you, Dallinson, played any Crash Bandicoot game? Like Crash Nitro Kart or any of the platform games?
No, I've only, like, seen them.
Wow.
Like, I've only, like, seen, like, videos of various things for various reasons. In particular, the Crash,
Crash Insane Trilogy?
Yeah, the Insane Trilogy.
And, well...
I saw some videos from, people, especially, from, like, Lion Breed, or known as It's a Squid on YouTube. For reasons that I will not go into detail of.
Yeah, it's probably pretty bad. And I bet you thought the Insane Trilogy was insanely good. Or at least looked insanely good.
Thank you, Emil.
What? Was that a joke?
Yeah, I was referencing another Let's Player. Jeff Conroy, Emil.
Oh, Chugga Conroy, of course, him! How could I forget? He does those Pokemon bios when he does his playthroughs, which is very interesting.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like those guidebooks for Pokemon X and Y, Diamond, Pearl.
Oh yeah, when he does like, I do love this Pokemon Let's Plays for the amount of detail he goes into. I just love the Let's Plays in general. I've been like, following every Let's Play, I think, since, like, consistently, since I think, like, Xenoblade.
Has he done the Crash Insane Trilogy?
No, and
Or Crash Bandicoot in general?
no, he has not. He's mainly, like, Nintendo with a few, like, or mainly, like, Nintendo platform. I mean, if it's been on the Nintendo platform, he's probably done it, type of thing, so...
Oh, I get it
like,
now.
Because Crash hasn't been on, like, a Nintendo platform, then I doubt that he would have done it, so...
Well, there is a GameCube version of Crash Nitro Kart in Wrath of Cortex, as well as a GameCube version of, I think, Tag Team Racing? I honestly don't know. But I do know that there's also a Switch port of the Insane Trilogy, and even Nitro Kart. I don't know if he'll ever cover them, but then again, I'm not really expecting him to, and if he doesn't want to do them, then, you know, that's fine.
Honestly, he's kind of surprised me with a few games that I actually wound up liking. Even if I don't plan on playing them personally, I found them very interesting just to watch. Like when he started his Chrono Trigger Let's Play, I was kind of disinterested because I had never cared much for the Square Enix stuff. But after like the first few episodes, I was hooked and I wanted to see the rest of the story with them.
How many endings of Chrono Trigger did he cover? Because there's a lot of them.
He covered every, how he did it was that he covered every single, ending by, as soon as he reached the end of time, and the next episode after, he gave you the Kill Lavos button in the upper right corner, that would change color depending on which ending was available.
Interesting.
So, like, and it would also chime whenever the ending had changed due to a significant event taking place.
Like there's an ending where Chrono dies and, the female character celebrates the 1,000-year parade without him, and his mom's concerned.
Yeah, Marl, and then Marl realizes they still have the epic, so they go, the old man shows them the Chrono Trigger before leaving through the time portal, and then, Marl and Luca realize they still have the epic, so the ending just, ends with them, searching for Chrono.
And then there's also one where the female character ends up floating away due to the balloons when hanging a bell, and Chrono manages to grab onto her.
Yep.
I also
And
found that
I
was
think
cute.
that's like I think that's the ending you get if you had used the epic to smash through Lavos' first two forms.
Oh, yeah.
Because if the epic was still there, so if you used the bucket or went to the Black Omen, then the alternate ending, then that ending was relatively the same, except a bit more of a humorous ending. Rakona's mother chases a kitty through a time portal, so well, we still have the epic. Let's go look for her.
Yeah, that's pretty amusing. And speaking of alternate endings, I was kind of disappointed that Crash Team Racing didn't have one, because the main plot of Crash Team Racing, and since Nitro Fuel is a remake, I'm 94 parts both Nitro Fuel and the original, the main antagonist, Nitrous Oxide, which is very fitting to talk about since we're on Oxide Station, you know, his racetrack, kind of a weird parallel, but anyway, basically he claims to be the fastest racer in the galaxy, and especially on hard mode, even though he cheats, even if you're ahead of him, he could still very well get close to you. He claims to travel to stars looking for creatures to test his skills in the form of a game he calls Survival of the Fastest. And he challenges the best driver of that planet to a race. And that driver can be anyone you want. It can be Crash, Vortex, Coco, Tiny, Engine, Dingodile, and even Polar and Burrow. And in the Nitro Fuel version of Adventure Mode, there's an even bigger roster of characters you can play as. Even Oxide himself, which can make things weird. But anyway, he's racing a clone of himself or something. So anyway, the way he determines who he gets to race is obviously the trophies and keys. And the twist is, if you win, he would leave Earth alone. But if he wins, he said he would turn the entire globe into a concrete parking lot and enslave everyone. Well, in the remake he says, make you my minions, but in the original, he actually says, make you my slaves, which is honestly much more menacing. But I can't really blame Beanox for changing that line, because there are overly sensitive people now these days that complain too much, and probably would have called for a boycott of Nitro Fuel if all the original dialogue was kept. But that's not my main problem with the...
It's not my main problem either, but it's just
like, it's not the change of dialogue that bothers me the most, on principle at least. It's more the fact that even when you lose to Oxide, whether or not you have all the time relics, tokens, and gems, he never actually does it. We never see a bad ending where Nitrous Oxide actually enslaves the characters and turns the globe into a concrete parking lot. That kind of confuses me. You'd think they...
it's kind of like the same reason why you never get, like, a bad ending in most games out of certain circumstances. Like, I guess we were just talking about Chrono Trigger, and you get that when you die to the final boss, but still.
And when you lose to Lavos, at least you actually see what happens. He destroys everything.
Well, technically you already saw what happens, you just get to see it as it happens.
Well, you're actually right about it.
Stuff.
Yeah, right. But still, at least you saw it as it happened. But you don't even get anything if you lose to Oxide. No picture of the world being transformed, no enslaved
I mean, a lot
Crash
of it could also be like said for a lot of other Final Boss like supposed bad endings. Like I mean, in this case, Ocarina of Time was before like the retcon had taken place,
right?
where the sort of Hyrule story had been written, but getting a game over against Ganon began the imprisoning war that led to the game to
Majora's Mask?
more of the top-down series. No, not Majora's Mask.
Oh, right, I know what you're talking
That
about, but...
leads to games like Link to the Past.
Oh, right, but we're out of time now.
Way in the Golden